Hey guys, hope everybody's having a great day today. Today is God. Every time I do this, I always have to think of what day it is. That is sad. I think that's a reseller mentality. You get busy, you're not punching a clock. You never know what day it is. Today is Wednesday. Hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. Got a great guest with us today, Miss Lorena from Sweet Texas Finds. We're going to go through the interview process like we've been doing on these, and I think this is her first time on a live stream, so everybody be sure to hit that thumbs up, give her a little confidence in the streaming world, and we'll see what we can learn. We don't have much of a crowd yet. Todd, I appreciate you stopping by. Good to see you, man. Mike, Storage Auction Pirate, good to see you.
Hi, the Flippin' Hustler, and hey, Lone Star Picker.
Oh, I'm sorry, I left that one. I'm sorry. I saw him earlier. He was sharing that out too. So just like I've said on all these streams, these interview streams I've been doing, the only cover charge to these streams is that you hit the like button and you share it out somewhere. I've got a couple more of these scheduled. Hopefully they'll. I had to reschedule the one I was going to do with Joe, Family Flips. Had something come up yesterday, so I'll be looking for that one. And Veronica, the cherry picker in the chat's another one I've got on the list to schedule. So. And again, if y'all are here, I appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your day to listen and hopefully interact. If you have any questions, we're going to do our best to stay away from reselling or business, but we may interject a little more of that than we have been on these other ones, just because we want to learn about Lorena, but I think we need to possibly. I think she's just gotten started on YouTube in the last, 4 months, 5 months, however long you've been doing it.
I started in January. January the 5th was my first video. Yeah.
A couple of months. So, we may not know a whole lot. Everybody I've had on so far, we've had a good idea who these people are, what they sell, how they sell, stuff like that. So we may dip into the business side a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not scared. It's okay. That way y'all can reminisce on your beginner eBay days,
But I think the beginner viewpoint, and I think you mentioned it in one of your, maybe your intro video or your first video. Yeah, those are the two I watched this earlier. I think you made the comment to the effect of, I'm not going to tell you how to do things. It's, you're not going to be doing a lot of how-to videos, and that's cool. You said, I'm going to give you my experience as a beginner or a newbie or whatever words you used.
Yeah, I like to use noob. I think that's what Google calls their new people. And since I'm a techie,
right.
Call myself a noob.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I said earlier before we went live, I think in the back of my mind, the connection that I made with you was through Instagram. In my mind, if you've been following me, like you said, I appreciate that. But it's so different when you come from being a viewer to being a creator. I've been seen a couple of times out at thrift stores like that. And somebody else, hey Craig, I'm like, okay. This is not somebody else on the camera somewhere. And not that I'm saying I'm popular or anything like that, but it's so different when somebody recognizes you that sees you on camera.
Yeah.
And you've never seen them. You're like, okay, I see a bunch of names in chat, but
I think if someone was to recognize me, I think I would freak out a little bit. I'd be like, whoa, you're actually watching my stuff, I would freak out a little bit, yeah.
Hey, Caffeinated Christy, good to see you. Like I said, I definitely appreciate everybody taking a little bit of time out of their day. We're going to try and go for an hour or so. I do have to be somewhere shortly after 8, and so we'll try and plan for that. But we'll go ahead and jump in with some questions. I think like I said on the last couple, I'm going to start all these off the same way once we get into the questions. So even though you don't have a couple of videos, you're really starting to do your YouTube stuff. What's one thing you have not mentioned on a video or on Instagram post or something like that anybody in the chat would not guess about you? It doesn't have to be a dark, deep secret. Just some odd fact or something,
An odd fact about me that I have not mentioned. I mean, I'm as plain of a girl that you can see. Like, I don't do sports. I never played sports whenever I was younger, so I don't have anything in that regards. And then, cool. I was just a big old nerd when I was little. If that helps you out. A nerd, I would stay at home. I would read books. home was my happy place, and I really there really is nothing crazy about me.
But there's nothing wrong with that. I think I mentioned on the last stream, I'm like, if everybody did exactly the same thing or had the same interests or acted the same way,
Yeah.
I think that's what makes us unique is everybody has their own, I hate to say abilities, attitude, interests,
for sure.
you know, and it doesn't make anybody any better because they do one thing or the other, in my opinion, you know?
Yeah, no. And then my youth was short lived because I had my daughter whenever I was 19. So it's kind of like, real world, wake up, like you have to be a parent now. So I just never really got to do anything, you know? So
yeah,
I feel like now I'm actually living my life. So
and that's tough. That's kind of similar to my story. We had our first child while we were still in college.
Yeah.
I was 23, I think. My wife is she's a year behind me.
Okay.
So she was 21, I was 23 at the time. And you know, neither one of us graduated college, and it was, you know, boom, right into real life. Boom, go find a job, get busy, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I completely understand.
It's a challenge, but I think experiences like that make us who we are.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I always tell everybody, I was like, I think my kids are what grounded me, because if I wouldn't have had kids, I probably would have ended up in a ditch somewhere, because I was already entering like the party stage of my life, and then all of a sudden it's like, boop, you're pregnant. Nope, no more parties for you. It was like I stepped outside of the house, and then I was like, nope, go back home.
Right. Well, I don't want to get all religious, but I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, good, bad, or otherwise.
I completely agree.
You know, and sometimes it's hard to see that when you're in the middle of that situation.
Yeah.
But you look back on it and say, wow, my life really changed when this happened or this happened or this happened, you know?
I definitely I feel like I'm a little bit immature in my interests, but I feel like I'm mature in the way I carry myself around my kids, and I just got to set an example for them, you know? And this YouTube stuff is kind of helping me out, because I'm just I did want to do it at first. I did want to do it from the beginning of my journey. I was just like, well, you know, there's so many bigger YouTubers, and it's good. I'm glad they're around, and that way we can learn from them. But I just kind of want to be the type of YouTuber that kind of tells everybody like, hey, you know, there's a small fish out there too, you know, doing our thing, and just like progress from there, see where I end up at, you know?
Right. I'm not a professional at YouTube. I make very little money on YouTube. I'm probably the last person you want to take advice from when it comes to YouTube. But the best advice I can give you is be yourself.
Yeah.
Just be yourself and be. I know I hear Dee. I don't know if you watch Dee Flipping Particles. She has a live stream, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock every day.
If y'all link her channel, I'll check it out and I'll subscribe.
Yeah. One thing she says a lot says stay authentic. You know, and I watch so many people that act on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, if you're being yourself and you're being authentic, then it's not act. Your stuff will just flow because you're not having to think, well, what do I need to do to get the most views? You know, that is what it is. You know?
I'm just kind of going with the flow, you know. Let's just see what happens, you know.
All right, you mentioned the kids. You've got what, 18 kids? No, I'm sorry.
I go nuts.
I'm kidding. 4 kids, right?
I have 4 kids, yes. I have the 2 older ones, the 10-year-old. No, wait, she's 11 now. See, you start having a bunch of kids, you start forgetting their age. So the older one's 11, and then the 9-year-old, and then I have my 2-year-old, which is a mess. She's the one that makes me crazy right now. And then I have the baby, and he is 9 months old.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. Are they all boys?
No, so the first one's a girl. It's girl, boy. So
wow.
Yeah.
And
after the last one, I was like, I'm not having no more kids, so I just got them 2 instead. So
we've got 3. I've got a 20. She'll be 28 this year. My oldest one, my middle one will be 23 this year, and my youngest son. Well, the 2 oldest one are girls. My youngest son will be 13 this year.
Oh wow, yeah.
Do you ever have a problem with names? You'll try and call one. You'll use the other one's name, or
yes, and that used to irritate me about my mom. I was like, Mom, like, you've had us and you live with us like all this time. Like, how can you not remember our names, or our ages or our birthdays? But now I'm in the same situation that she's in, and I'm like, okay, I understand you now. I'm not gonna tell you anything about that anymore.
It's amazing to have those aha moments like that.
Yeah.
Wait, what mom said or what happened to mom when I was growing up, and now I'm in that spot. You look back and you say, oh, that makes sense now.
Yeah. And it's been happening more and more and more and more. She's like, just don't judge me. Just wait till your kids are older and blah blah blah. So I'm getting there. I'm getting to where she was at. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
So no more kids. Okay, that's cool.
No.
What's wrong with that? You don't have to have twins in your family anywhere, do you?
No. Well, on my cousins are twins, but
wow.
Yeah, on my mom's side.
That's cool. And those are generational. It's always scared us anytime we've thought about having kids while we were in the kid those days. It's generational. It skips generations. So if my wife's grandparents had twins, it would have skipped her mom's generation and been our generation. I'm like, anytime we were thinking about having another one, it was like there's a chance we might have twins. I'm like, oh, this is scary.
Like, yes, I like that.
No.
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
Wow. Here's another question, kind of family related. And a lot of these, are kind of family related. Some of it's reselling on the edge of that, but a lot of these are the same ones I've used before. If you, as a family, if you had to leave the house and go do something, and you couldn't spend any money outside of the cost of gas or whatever, if you had to go somewhere, what would be y'all's favorite thing to do?
Here in Waco, they have these, it's called Cameron Park, and they have a bunch of trails, and it's really nice out there. So we'd probably just hit up the trails. They've been bugging me about it lately just because the weather's been so nice. Like, it hasn't been hot. Like, it's not Texas hot yet. It will get there June, July, but I mean, the weather's perfect right now. It'd be a good time to go out there, but I need to get somebody to watch the baby because there's spiders and ticks and all that stuff, and I just don't want. I mean, if I get bit, I'll be okay, but I don't want the babies to get bit.
Oh, definitely. And that's been a common answer. People have said that they like to get out and walk and see nature. And you're talking about the heat. I think I mentioned earlier that we'd made the trip to Texas a year or so ago. We made the drive out there. And we left here Christmas morning. So we were there. The weather was cool. It was actually cold, I think, if I remember right. We were at Magnolia Manor or whatever the name of that place is.
Yeah, silence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Did you enjoy the though? Did you like it? Did you actually enjoy going there? I know that's like the Waco thing to do right now, but be honest.
My wife and the two older girls, yeah, they loved it.
Yeah.
Me and my son were like, can we walk out back and find one of the little food trucks or whatever? And
it's really nothing there. I mean, it's just a big. If anybody wants to visit Magnolia, like, it's a big old store, and that's it.
Right.
I think people just travel there because, I mean, there are some nice areas where you can just take really nice photographs, but that's pretty much it. And Waco is, I mean, I love Waco, but there's not much here yet. It's not like Dallas or Austin, like a bigger city. So,
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't spend a lot of time. It was kind of a passing through on our way, because that Waco is between San Antonio and Dallas, right?
Yeah.
We were passing. We were passing through. We left. We stayed in McKinney a handful of days, and we were going to spend New Year's Eve in San Antonio. So
yeah,
which was a lot of fun.
Pretty nice. It's pretty big. I don't know how. I mean, you said you're in Alabama, right?
Yeah.
My son's been wanting to go to. Isn't Crater of Mines over there? Is that what it's called? Crater of something.
That doesn't sound familiar.
Oh, that's in Arkansas. I'm sorry.
You had the A right.
Yeah, but it's like a big old dirt patch, and they throw. Well, you can find diamonds in there. You can go in there and pay a fee, and then you can go look for diamonds. He's like into gems and stuff like that. And I've been wanting to go there. Yeah.
Hey Tom, how are you? Good sequin tea picker. All right, you said before we got on, you said you were the quote unquote nerd type growing up. What was your Were you big into video games, board games? I know you said you read a lot.
Oh,
If you were into video games, did you have a favorite game?
well, we kind of grew up poor, so we didn't really get a video game system until we were, how old were we? I think I was like 15, 16. And then when we finally got the video game system, we just played Grand Theft Auto. That was like the game to play. It was a PlayStation 2. Yeah. Grand Theft Auto, the San Andreas version, because that was like, in my opinion, the best version. But before that, now if I remember correctly, we had a desktop. It was it had Windows, I think it was ME. Do you remember Windows ME?
How did I know you were going to say that? God, that was the worst.
It was super old. Yeah, and I used to play what game was it? Oh, I used to play Doom on there. I used to turn off all the lights, and I used to sit in front of the chair, and like if my mom would leave to go do groceries or whatever, or if all of my siblings were away from the area, I'd just sit there and play Doom by myself and scare myself, but yeah, I didn't really get into gaming. I just did a lot of reading.
That was a great game. And I don't know if I mentioned it yet or not. Lorena, she's got a great video on how she left her IT or computer job to be a reseller and take care of her family. Y'all make sure you go back and watch that. It was very good. But that was the kind of the connection I think I made with her because of my background in IT for so many years. But talking about Windows ME, I think that was one of the worst operating systems ever.
It was pretty bad, and around that time, I didn't know anything about computers. We just wanted it to turn on and play games on it. I remember the little AOL disk. Well, we didn't have internet, so we would pop in the AOL disk, hoping that some magical thing would happen, and that some way, somehow, the computer would have internet after that. But obviously, it never worked because that's not how computers work. But yeah, it brings back memories,
I've done a little bit of support for a couple of small businesses, and one of the companies I went to, it was back in those days with Windows ME. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I walked in and one of the guys that worked there was Russian. He had a Russian version of Windows ME. So all the menus and everything were written in Russian.
Everything was all crazy looking. Yeah, I can only assume. Yeah.
Wow. Good to see Chris, Thrift Shop Hustler. He was one of the last people I've interviewed on here as well. He's got a great event. Chris, go ahead and drop a link to your videos on. He works for the American Cancer Society. And they're having a jewelry event coming up next week. Make sure you drop that. What's up, Tommy Buffalo Pickard? Good to see you. Dad's Vintage Garage, John, how are you? If y'all are just walking in, the entry fee to this stream is the same as the other ones I've done. Got to hit that like button. You need to share it out somewhere so everybody can learn about Miss Sweet Texas Finds here. We need to get her subscriber count up a little bit because she's got a great story to tell, I think.
I do have more videos coming up. It's just kind of hard to film. You see, right now I'm in my bedroom I'll back up. That's the crib. That's the baby's crib, but my husband has the kids right now, so so I take the kids so I can do this and give me a break,
Yeah, that's cool. So with a decent sized family, I'm sure it's hard to have alone time or me time. Do you have any kind of hobbies that you like? Or anything that you do besides being a mom?
Well, now I really enjoy. I'm working on my website, and I really enjoy. I just really like anything IT related. It's so silly to say this, but I think I discovered that I just like helping people out, and I like fixing problems. So I think at some point, whenever I get a little bit more situated with the baby, when they're a little bit older, I think I am going to do I plan on doing eBay, YouTube, and I do plan on doing maybe what you said, having like a side IT gig. If I can at least get one company that trusts me enough with their systems, I think I'll be set, and I probably will stay out of like the corporate world for a while, unless something. But like I said in my other videos, it's not good to plan anything because, see, there I go planning my life out, and then it probably won't work out the way I want it. So I need to be careful with what I say. I
don't know about you. I've always had an interest in computers. I got very lucky when I got my first computer job, but what's always kept me around it is that it's always changing. It's always evolving. There's always something new to learn. There's always that opportunity, you know, and so many industries don't give you that opportunity. You know?
Yeah. And it's ever evolving, it's ever changing, and it's the same thing with YouTube, I believe. Maybe that's what's keeping me interested. I've always liked to learn. I've always been the nerdy type. And I think that it's like with YouTube, if you don't get with the times, you're going to get left behind. And it's the same thing with IT, you know. You start, or you don't want to upgrade your systems. Well, your systems are not going to be very safe, you know. I know a lot of people right now don't want to upgrade from Windows 7 to Windows 10, but there's a lot of security vulnerabilities that go with it. So, yeah,
definitely,
you have to get with the times, you know.
Definitely, and I'm gonna apologize. I'm gonna apologize ahead of time. I'm gonna mispronounce this person's name, and I apologize.
Okay.
I don't know if it's Anahi Segura.
Oh yeah. Anai.
Okay, I butchered it. I gave it my best Alabama accent.
That's fine. She doesn't mind. She's a very good girl. So.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What's up, Tesla Picker? I just watched. I watched some of your interview with what's his name, Chris, Thrift BCQ. That was a great interview. All right. Favorite breakfast food. What do you like to eat for breakfast? Now, before you say, I know it's got to have your Hispanic influence, right?
Actually, well, if it, I don't know, because I don't really eat breakfast. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really do breakfast.
So many people don't.
I don't get hungry, and right now I'm like on the carnivore diet, so I only eat meat.
Oh wow.
I literally only eat meat. So
I think that's a diet that I could follow. I don't think I'd have a problem with that kind of diet.
Yeah, it's actually not good, and I feel really good after I eat like that. I stopped it when all the kids started, when they shut the schools down. All my kids were home, and I was a little bit stressed out, and I started eating really bad again. But I felt like crap. Like I felt like terrible. So now I told myself, I was like, you want to go back to how you felt when you were eating just meat. So I started it Monday, and it's day 3, and I'm following through. I feel great again. Like I feel like I have so much energy. I feel younger. It's so weird.
Feel younger? You can't feel much younger. You're what, 19 or 20?
No, I'm actually 30.
I'm good. Wow. I working in the IT industry, and I don't want this to sound wrong or racist. It's not intended this way, but there are a lot of people that are from India. Yeah. In the IT industry, and you know, being around and a lot of, and I don't want to generalize or anything, but there's a lot of people from India that are vegetarians.
Yeah.
And I have a hard time with that. You know, a lot of them do it for whatever reason, and I'm not. You know, that is what it is. But you know, I think once I've had meat, I think I'd have a hard time saying I'm not going to eat meat anymore. If I'd never had it, it probably would have been a lot easier.
So, I mean, I'm like, maybe that's okay. So now that I have kids, I don't read as much, but I don't read as many books anymore. But I do watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I kind of always, if I enjoy something or if something interests me, I just kind of like go into the rabbit hole of like reselling, you know. And now, like the carnivore diet, there's so many YouTubers that do the carnivore diet, and they all they kind of talk bad about the vegans, you know, and I'm sorry if you're vegan. I'm not, you know, like you do you, you know, if you enjoy eating veggies and all that stuff, you know, it's good. You keep doing what you're doing, but I like meat. I like to eat meat, and I'm going to continue my meat diet. But now there's restrictions in the stores by like how many meat products you can buy. You can only buy 5 in Texas, I think.
Right.
So it's like,
got to have a couple more people who have jumped in. I want to say hey to just me, Kathy. Good to see you. Nikki T. I haven't seen Rev yet, so I'm sorry. I get my points on that. We've got a thing going. I always joke with him about being the first in chats and stuff. Anthony Pittsburgh. Good to see you, man. I appreciate you stopping by. If I miss anybody else, I apologize. Let me scroll up just a little bit. Make sure. Callie Picker. Good to see you, James.
I have my chat on my phone, so I can't, and I'm a little bit blind, so I'm just gonna say hi to everybody that's in the chat right now.
That's cool. And it's tough. You know, You watch all these live streams, and if you watch a good number of them, people calling out people's names, it's not like it's just an overnight thing.
Yeah.
For me, at least, it took me a good while to get used to. Okay, I've seen this person 10 days.
Yeah.
It takes a while to get used to people's names. I had the hardest time with Dapper Tiger Sam. It took me a while to catch on to his name for some reason.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right. I got a couple of first and last, and you've watched the last stream, so you know what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
First thing in the morning that you do outside of hygiene, if you have something regular you do in the morning. Probably take care of the baby is my guess.
Well, yeah, because he wakes up first, but he doesn't cry in the mornings. He just kind of wakes up, and I kind of hear him cooing and cawing, and I'm just kind of like, oh, the baby's up. So I'll grab my phone and I'll look at it, and I'll turn the brightness all the way up so that I can, so my vision will start coming back,
Right.
So that's the first thing I do. I grab my phone pretty much,
I think I'm the same way. Before I even sit up or do that, it's sad that I'm that way. But I'm grabbing that phone and email or what.
It helps me wake up though, especially like when I wake up to sales. If there's any sale from overnight, I'm like, oh, you got to get up and start doing stuff. It's kind of like a motivator for me. That's
cool.
Yeah.
Along that same lines, what's the last thing you do at night before you fall asleep outside of hygiene?
I just read articles online and I do research on this whole YouTube stuff, and I come up. I'm trying to come up. I have a big book of YouTube video ideas I haven't done yet, but it's coming, But that's pretty much what I do. I just try to prepare for the next day. So I just sit there and do everything. Yeah.
Do the little ones go to sleep early? Or if they're getting up at 5:30 in the morning, I have a feeling they probably at least take a nap or something earlier.
Yeah. Well, the older ones go to sleep at 10, and then my toddler, since the kids are up, she's just going through her terrible twos. She just wants to sleep. She'll sleep until 11, even though she's in bed. She won't. Right. She won't go to sleep. So I just leave her in there. I'm like, hey man, you got to go to sleep. And no matter what I do, I can't get her to relax and go to sleep time.
That's been a challenge. Like I said earlier, I've got a 28-year-old about to be 23-year-old and a 13-year-old, and it's always been a challenge to get kids to bed.
Yeah.
We've never been the one to say, get in your bed and you're going to bed at 8 o'clock every night. My mom hates it.
Yeah.
Because we've never been strict on bedtime.
Yeah.
But,
especially at school, I used to make them go to sleep at 9, but now since they kind of get up we all get up a little bit late. We all get up around 9 o'clock in the morning. Then I kind of let them have one more hour before they have to go to bed.
That's cool. Good to see you, Gary. Mr. Westmatch Gary. What else? All right, on the edge of reselling, what was the first YouTube reselling channel or video that you remember watching when you got into? I know you said you did some research before you jumped in. Who was the first?
I watched Rally Roots, and just because I was telling you earlier, when you first start going into reselling, it pushes the bigger channels out as a reference. So I started with Rally Roots, and then I moved on to who was it? Oh, the Craigslist Hunter. Yeah, and I found Ann Eckert. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name wrong.
I don't know that I've watched any of her channel, but I know I've seen the name out there.
She does a lot of vlogs, and she's pretty funny. So I did learn a lot from her too, though. But I just started watching them, and then I just kind of went from there. I tried not to watch. I mean, I did watch a lot of YouTube videos, but I kind of try to figure things out on my own too. So,
right.
But those are the main 3 that I started watching from the very beginning.
And you had a great point there. You tried to figure things out yourself. I think that's kind of the key. You can only watch so much and learn so much. At some point, you got to put pen to paper and go and, oh, wait, I don't know what to do here. Let me go see if I can find something, do some research. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if that's being in the computer industry for so long. Personally, I feel like I'm in the problem-solving business. That's what I'm strong at.
Yeah.
I think to survive in that industry, you've got to be a good problem solver. So you've got to have. I have a feeling that probably leaked over into trying to be or first starting to be a reseller.
Yeah, it really did. I feel like my whole life I've been just solving problems. So
But that's a good skill set to have.
Yeah.
What was the last YouTube channel or video you watched? And please don't say me. Don't, because I know it wasn't. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I think it was. I was watching YouTube today, and I believe the last video I watched was somebody named the Kelly Hustle. I think that's who it is.
Is that Calvin?
I don't know who that is.
I think it's Calvin. Yes.
It's so hard to catch everybody's names. But that's the last one I watched. Oh, you know what? Well, no, that was today. Yeah, because last night I was watching. It was Big Plex or something like that. I'm new, so forgive me. And I just started following all these people.
No, you're good.
So I don't remember the names.
That's cool. And I know we've had some people jump in since I've said this, but the price of admission, the cover charge for this is just like it has been on the other ones. Hit that like button, share it out somewhere. And we got a third thing. You need to go over and follow Miss Lorena, Sweet Texas Finds. She's got a lot of good information, and she's
well, it's coming. So I have a video planned out for how to print the Mercari labels on the thermal printer on a 4x6 without it looking fuzzy, because I know there's videos out there where they tell you to like do the snip method, the snip and sketch method, but my labels come out really fuzzy when I do that. So I have my own method that I'm gonna kind of try to put out there. So y'all just, if that's something that you're needing, or the international labels too. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm planning that out. It should be out someime this week.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I like doing how-tos. I mean, I did a lot of that whenever I was help desk. That's kind of like the job that they would give us. Like, hey, we need to give this list or tell the end user how to do this. So make something up.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all for Queen. I appreciate you stopping by. What happened to my shirt? I don't know if you're talking about the shirt there or whatever was hanging back here or what. You might want to clarify that. Not sure what you're asking.
Hey, Best Offer Queen.
If I missed anybody, I apologize. Hadn't been watching the chat very well. Either in high school, growing up, did you ever have a nickname?
Not in high school. My brother called me Nena because he could not pronounce my name correctly. So for those of you all that don't know the story that I gave Lance Sharpicker earlier, or Craig earlier, my real name is Lorena, but that's the way us Hispanics would say it. But when I was in school, nobody could pronounce Lorena, or nobody was able to say it that way. And they would read the attendance form, and they would say Lorena, because there's a little small town named Lorena, Texas, a couple of miles from here, probably like 30 minutes away from us, from Waco. But yeah, so ever since I was little, they'd call me Lorena, and I'm just like, okay, my name is Lorena. But yeah, my brother could not pronounce my name, which is Lorena, so he would call me Nena.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And how many siblings did you have? Did you have younger brothers, younger sisters, older? Were you the oldest? What?
I have one older sister, and she is 1 year older than me. Well, 2 years older than me. Wait, yeah, I don't remember, but she's 1 or 2. No, she's 2 years older than me, and then it's me, and then my brother, he's 1 year younger than me, and then I have the youngest brother, and he's 10 years younger than me.
Wow.
He may be out here in the chat. I don't know.
Cool.
I'd have to look through it, but.
All right, so you had you and 3 siblings, and now you've got 4 kids. Any correlation there? Any reasoning? Any thought process, or was it just the way it worked out?
It's just the way that it worked out. Like, I know whenever I first started having kids, I was like, oh, I do want to have 4 kids like my mom, because I want to relive my childhood. And then whenever I had the first 2, I was like, oh, well, eventually I'll have another one, you know? And I would keep saying that. And then eventually that my toddler came. And then whenever I had my toddler, I was like, I don't want to have any more kids. And then out popped the baby. And after that, I was like, no more. I'm done. I love the kids, but I like to complain about them more because I'm just tired. I'm a tired mom.
All right, from a parenting perspective, has any one of your children been any easier to parent than the other ones?
Yes, my oldest.
Your oldest?
Yes, she's.
Wow. Do you think that was? I know we had our, like we were talking earlier. Our stories are somewhat similar in regard to our first children.
Yeah.
And I think with our first child, and I don't know if you feel the same way. You were just so much. I've got to do this perfect. I got to sterilize the bottles. I got to do this. I got to do that. I'm like, I've got to be a good parent. And I'm not saying I'm not a good parent. Or you're not now.
No.
So much concentrating on that.
It's until you're inside of that, like, I don't know, inside of that parenting world, you can only understand, like, one kid's like easy and all your attention goes to that one kid, but you add on another one, you know, and they need attention, you know, the babies need attention, you know, but the toddler or the soon to be toddler, however old they are, they also need attention too. Right. And they get a little bit jealous, and it's like freaking cats fighting each other, you know, it's oh God.
Yeah. Somebody made the comment, and I don't remember what kind of conversation we were having. I think we had found out we were pregnant with our second. And somebody told me, and it makes a lot of sense. They said 2 children is a lot more work than twice one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I would agree. Yeah.
What's up, Joe? Good to see you, man. All right, first job you've ever had.
Ooh, that's
that paid money.
yeah, that's a good one. I worked at the Dr. Pepper Museum. That's why really? I love Dr. Pepper. Yeah, I love that job. That goes all in line with I like to help people. So right. I was just in my role right there. I was helping people go through the museum. I was considered a soda jerk. Because whenever we hand make the sodas over there, so you would like pull a handle to make the soda, and I guess they used to call those people soda jerks. So I was a soda jerk, guys. It was great.
Was that in where your current location? Was that
somewhere else? Texas. If y'all want to go, after y'all go see Magnolia, y'all can go to the Dr. Pepper Museum. I'm not gonna lie, there's not that much stuff in there. Well, not whenever I was working there, you know. But.
Did they? We've never been to that one. We came through Waco. I think the only thing we did, we ate lunch. We ate lunch at the Magnolia, whatever it's called.
Magnolia.
I don't think we did anything else, but there's a Coke museum that's over in Atlanta that's really cool.
Oh, really?
Coca-Cola, and they had a lot of different flavors over the years. You could go get it on tap or from the dispenser or whatever. Yeah. But they had Coke from different time periods. They had Coke from different countries. Huh. You would be amazed at the taste and the difference in Coke from, say, Italy and the U.S.
Probably because they use real sugar.
I don't remember all the details. I remember one of them being a lot more sour than I expected.
Yeah, well, I remember they said that there was the sodas from like Mexico or wherever, they're made with real sugar, and any of the sodas made in the U.S., unless they're labeled sugar or whatever, they're made with corn syrup, and there's a big difference between the corn syrup taste of the soda and the sugar taste. The sugar one tastes way better. I gained a lot of weight whenever I worked at the Dr. Pepper Museum.
Lone Star Picker says the bottled Coke from Mexico are the best.
Yeah, they really are. You're right.
I don't know that I've had one from Mexico, but there is a big difference in the taste of a bottled Coke and a canned Coke, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Guys. Sam, welcome in, man. I appreciate you coming by. If y'all have any questions in the chat, anything you want to learn about Miss Lorena, feel free. I don't know if she used the word open book like my other guests have, but sound like she was pretty open to most questions. Favorite kind of ice cream? Favorite flavor of ice cream? Do you like ice cream?
Plain old vanilla, but there's an ice cream shop here in Waco. It's called Katie's Frozen Custard, and they make the best butter pecan ice cream. It's like really good. I don't know what they do to it, but it's the perfect combo. So vanilla or that butter pecan. All right,
so vanilla. Do you like the? I had to start opening my mouth. I gotta think. There's like vanilla bean. style, and then there's like I don't know what they call it, just a standard vanilla. There's one that's got a little bit different. I don't know.
Yeah, well, the one that I like, it's from Bluebell.
Yeah.
It's called the Bluebell Home Style Vanilla.
Home style, yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite. I don't do that extra fancy French vanilla stuff. Give me the good old home style.
Bluebell is our ice cream of choice. We get a good bit of it down here. I haven't jumped into all the crazy flavors, the wedding cake and all this, the craziness that's out there. I'm pretty simple.
The banana pudding one's pretty good.
Is it?
It has chunks of vanilla wafers in them. So.
All right, you had to open that door. I love banana pudding, but I like warm banana pudding.
Really?
Yeah.
Do people eat it warm? I eat it cold.
I mean, I'll eat it cold, but there's a couple of like meat and three type restaurants here close to the house, and it's just like cafeteria style, and they just have just pans of it straight out of the oven. It's warm. Oh, if you hadn't had it warm, try it.
Yeah, I like pecan pie warm with ice cream on it. That's really
I could talk food. I love eating. I've been
cook.
I'm sorry.
Do you cook? Are you a cook?
I can cook with the microwave. I can put a tin of frozen lasagna in the oven. So that's not cooking. So if my wife gives me a recipe and says do this, I can do it. But I'm not very good at cooking. Do you like cooking?
Oh, I have. I mean, I do enjoy cooking, but I kind of had to learn how to cook because with a family of 4, it's 6 of us. Man, it starts adding up. And now the kids are graduating from kids meals to full grown size meals, and that it starts.
You can't go through the McDonald's drive-thru and spend less than $25 at that point.
Yeah, but we can't go to McDonald's every day.
So when you cook, and again, I don't want this to be taken wrong, do you like to cook Hispanic type foods or?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I cook on a daily basis. Like today we ate something called carnitas. So it's like fried pork meat. Like smothered in green sauce.
Green chili sauce?
Yeah, green chili sauce, yeah. So you gotta let it saute all together and all the flavors will blend together. It tastes really good. And then I just made a side of Mexican spaghetti, which if you've never tried it, it's maybe I might start a cooking channel, with all my Mexican recipes. But that'll be in the future. I don't have time for it right now.
All right. Along that same lines, is your family history from Mexico? Or I know that's the standard answer when people think Hispanic. And
I don't get offended by stuff like that. So I'm first generation Hispanics. I'm actually one of the first ones that graduated college in my family, and my mom and my dad were in Mexico, and then they came over here and they got together and they had us. So
right. All right. So along that lines, I'm picky about. I love Mexican food. I love El Salvadorian food. I like authentic type foods.
Yeah, for sure.
And I know if you were born in the United States, right?
Yes, I was born in the United States.
Have you ever asked your parents? Have y'all ever talked about how? I hate to use Taco Bell as the example. Taco Bell is probably the furthest away from authentic Mexican food. Or y'all, what are your thoughts on the U.S. version of Hispanic food?
Honestly, it's good. Sometimes. Okay, so I like Taco Bell. I'm Hispanic. I do enjoy it, but I have to be in the mood for it. My preference though is like the stuff that I cook, or the stuff that like my mom will cook, and just like the authentic Hispanic foods, because there's no comparison to like the rice that we make compared to the rice that Taco Bell will give you. Because I mean, there's just
and I hated to use Taco Bell as an example. That's the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah, On the Border would be another example, or I don't know what other chain Mexican restaurants are out there, but I don't really look much. But
Do you cook anything that you along that lines, or something specific that your mom cooked that you learned to cook, or was it just the vanilla bean, vanilla Hispanic type dishes or whatever?
Yeah, just the standard. The first thing I learned how to cook is just the Mexican soup, Mexican sopita. That's what we call it. Just the tomato sauce with just little noodles. It's really good. I honestly, and my mom never bought us like canned soup. She would always like make it from scratch.
Wow.
And we've done it so much that if I want to make my kids soup, I just do it really quick. I make the little sauce, I dump it in, and I do everything from scratch. I don't do canned food, and very rare. I mean, I buy garlic bread, that's frozen.
Right.
Pretty much everything is pretty much homemade.
We won't chastise you for that. It's okay.
My subscriber count is going down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I said, we've got a I believe is authentic El Salvadorian restaurant that's very close.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
They make the little taco pupusas. I don't know if you've ever seen those.
Man, those are so good. I tried to do
incredible.
at home. Total bust. It did not work.
Really?
They have some sort of technique. I don't know what they do.
That's always amazed me. And I think we found it. The owner's daughter danced ballet with my daughter. And we went, she advertised in some program, and we went by there. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is incredible!" It's a little hole in the wall.
Yeah, they're the best ones.
I so much love those kind of restaurants versus going to eat at a big chain. You just get the atmosphere, the food. It seems so much more authentic to me.
Yeah, I completely agree. We try to go to the little holes in the wall, and whenever I was working, I would tell all my coworkers, I'd be like, because they weren't from Waco originally. They're like, "Oh, what's a good place to go eat?" I was like, "Okay, well, you have to go here and you have to go here, and it's gonna look scary on the outside, but just go in there, and you'll probably be waiting there for like a good 30 minutes before they acknowledge that you're there. But just stay there, man. The food's worth it."
Wow, I love that. I've been so lucky in my life. My metabolism has just been high. I'm always doing something. I've never had a problem with gaining weight. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
But,
well, I gained weight really quick. That's why I have to do my meat diet again. So I didn't get to enjoy the food that I just talked about. I separated my food from theirs, and I just ate meat. So. Wow.
Hey, Sonny, good to see you, man. I think he was asking about what part of Texas. She is in Waco. We were talking before we went live. Waco now has a new thing they're known for. They're not known for the Branch Davidians or whatever they were for. They've got the Magnolia thing, and apparently the Dr. Pepper Museum now. So that's good.
Yeah, well, the Dr. Pepper Museum, it's there because that was the original bottling company for Dr. Pepper. So that's like where it all started. Yeah, it's pretty cool if you go in there. It's an old building, and then there was a tornado that happened here in Waco at some point, and it knocked part of the building down. So you could see, like, if you drive by there, because it's a one-way street, you could see the part where the tornado knocked down the bricks, and it's like the new brick, like where they reconstructed it. But that tornado happened like early 1900s. I don't remember.
Wow, that's cool. I bet that's a neat-looking building for sure.
It is. It's a pretty neat-looking building. Maybe I'll do some retail arbitrage from there.
Sunny Las Vegas Thrift says that he's originally from Charlotte, Texas.
Charlotte, Texas. I've never heard of that one. Is that close to Dallas or?
I haven't heard of it. But I know big names or big cities and anything I've heard on the media, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Anybody that's come in late, if you have any questions, drop the questions in. The cost of admission is to hit that thumbs up, that like button, and share it out. And you also need to go subscribe to Sweet Texas Finds. I think she's got a great story to tell and a lot of fun. So I know we haven't talked a lot about selling, reselling your business and all that, and I've tried to avoid that on a lot of people. But I think it'd be good to kind of get your story out about how you do things or how you got into reselling, all that kind of stuff. Just because you haven't been on a bunch of live streams and haven't really hadn't connected with a lot of these people. So what got you into reselling?
So what got me into reselling was kind of like not out of desperation, but I was just kind of looking for a way out of my 9 to 5 job, just because I was pregnant with my last kid and I was just kind of miserable at that point.
Right.
And since I already had my first two so close together and I knew how like those times were kind of tough for me, I knew that the same thing was coming with these two. Like
Right.
it was going to be hard times in
History
regards
repeats
to
itself.
you know? Huh?
Right. I said history repeats itself.
Yeah, it repeated itself like completely. So at that point, I was like, I need to start looking for. At first, I started looking for stay-at-home jobs, and
Right.
then nothing kind of fit the kind of like my idea of what I wanted to do, just because it was you're stuck on the clock. Like you have to like if I'm going to be clocked in for a certain amount of hours, even if it's from home, it's still time that I'm taking away from the kids, and then I still have to get somebody to watch them. So what's the point of staying home? Might as well just, you know. So at that point, I was like Googling, and then for some reason, I saw something about reselling, and I was like, what is this? So
Right.
like I said, I just started watching videos, and I was like, oh. And then I started trying to sell my own items from my home because that was what was suggested. And
Right.
whenever I did that, I can't explain the feeling that I had when I first sold something on there. It was kind of like a little rush, like something that I had.
It was that adrenaline coming through.
Yeah, it was like I think it's an adrenaline rush for me. Every time I hear the low ka-ching, I just get like all giddy and stuff. I'm like, I sold something, you know? And especially if it's something that I didn't really know about in the beginning, you know, and I sell it. I'm just kind of like, I can't believe I was able to sell something that I just picked up from a garage sale. I had always gone
Right.
to garages and thrift stores, but yeah.
And I think I watched you sell on eBay and Poshmark primarily. You've dabbled in Amazon a little bit, right?
Yeah, I've dabbled in Amazon, but I don't have I can't do a lot of retail arbitrage because I'm a homebody and I don't really like going to the stores.
Right.
So even groceries, before all this coronavirus stuff started happening, I used to order my groceries online, but now it's like you have to wait like 4 or 5 days before you can get your groceries. Like there's like a really long wait time for like grocery pickup. So now I'm
Right.
forced to go to the grocery store. But yeah, I don't really go anywhere. I don't really like going to the stores. That's why that's why y'all see me in the same 5 shirts on all my videos. I don't really do shopping right now.
So what kind of things do you like to sell? What's your go-to? What's your favorite thing to sell?
You know what? There is an account. I believe it's called Big Drift or Big Drift Thrift, and she is one of the accounts on. Oh, and Lavender Clotheslines. When I first started, I didn't really start with YouTube as far as like seeing what sold, but I saw that these two ladies were selling like the most randomest items, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. So I'm trying to kind of model my eBay business right now to like to how they do things, because they're kind of like a no niche seller. They just kind of see something. I mean,
Right.
I'm sure they have some sort of idea like this is unique, this is different, this is old. I'm going to pick it up and try to sell it. So I've just been kind of modeling that, modeling what they do. And so far I've been okay. I've been doing fine.
That's cool.
Method, yeah. I mean, I've been selling stuff.
Yeah. One thing that I've always thought about when I'm outsourcing is if something catches my eye,
Yeah.
it's catching my eye for a reason, and I at least need to pick it up and look at it.
Yeah.
Comp it, whatever. It's caught my eye for a reason because of the color maybe, or it's standing out in a group of things,
Yeah. So I've gotten to the point in reselling where I just I don't like to pull out my phone. You know, I will pull out my phone if I have to. I'm like, oh, I really don't know if this is worth anything. But I just kind of look at the item and I know I'm like, oh, this might sell, you know?
Right.
And as far as games, well, I know for sure like all of the Nintendo games sell because that's what I started off selling. And Nintendo 64 especially, those like go like that.
Right.
Nintendo GameCube games, like all of the older systems, I mean that's a for sure sell right there. I've had a hard time selling the PlayStation 2 games that I have,
Oh,
but
really?
I know there are some like rare finds, but yeah. I mean,
Right.
stuff like that, I don't really. But yeah,
I,
no niche. That's what I'm sticking to for now.
I, I have a hard time just picking up an item and not looking it up. My mind is just so analytical, and especially
Yeah,
with things like I typically stay away from jewelry just because I feel like I'd have to look up every single item. And that's just, I've gotten a lot more selective about clothing, glassware.
yeah,
In my mind, I just feel like I would just overload my brain with information trying to say, okay, if something is marked, it's a lot easier, but I don't have
yeah.
as much confidence in those areas of things that aren't marked.
Yeah, well, I kind of follow some sort of guidelines whenever I go out and shop and stuff like that.
Right.
Like if it's jewelry, you look for like the silver mark, like
Right.
it's supposed to say 925 or like sterling, not silver. It's not supposed to say silver. It's supposed to say sterling or something like that.
Right.
And then with clothing, I just kind of, if I don't know the brand, I look at the what is it, the material of the clothing, because the
Right.
material, it's really good material or fancy material, then that brand's probably a really good brand. So I'll stick that in my cart, and if it's for a good price too. What else?
But it's
Oh, for
good.
yeah.
Go
No,
ahead.
for anything else that's like glassware or anything like that, if it has any sort of foreign marking, or like it's made in Korea or Hong Kong or any of those countries, it's pretty much going to be old, and it'll probably sell.
Yeah. Hey, Simply Dana, appreciate you stopping by.
Mhm.
If anybody in the chat has any questions or anything, we're probably going to start wrapping up here in just a little bit. I definitely appreciate it. Everybody that's jumped in and spent a little time with us. And Lorena, I definitely appreciate you taking some time out of your evening to come on and hopefully let people learn a little bit more about you.
I appreciate you having me. I really do.
Anything coming up on your channel? I know you've talked about, you've got some good ideas. And I'm not trying to pinpoint you, but anything that you want to promote from your channel or ideas or things that you might have coming up?
Yeah, just the whole printing the Mercari label on a 4x6, or printing international labels on a 4x6 without it looking fuzzy or grainy. Because I'm a perfectionist, and I get scared, even though I know it's gonna scan. I get that fear, And I do plan on coming up with videos on how I screwed up some orders. Like I screwed up yesterday. I ended up sending a shirt to somebody else. So I refunded the lady her money, and I just told her, like, hey, man, if they send the shirt back to me because it wasn't meant to go out to them, then I will send you the shirt at no cost. Just how I handle certain predicaments that I put myself in. But that's what I get for rushing everything,
Yeah. Here's a good question. And we'll didn't see a whole lot else come in, so we'll try and answer this one and then wrap things up. Why did you start making videos on YouTube? If you're not comfortable yet, I think you have to ask both of us. I really struggle with that. I was telling Lorena before when we went live, my personality is I'm an introvert. If I walk into a crowd of people, I'm not going to just strike up a conversation with somebody. If I know you, I wouldn't have a problem walking up and talking to you. So doing the whole YouTube thing is totally against my personality. I hung out in a bunch of live streams and stuff like that without going live for about 2 years before I ever made my first video. I've been in the problem solving business in IT for so long, and I think I have more of a propensity to try and teach somebody something. So just being able to show people how I do things, but also teach them why I do something. I'm a firm believer in the teach a man to fish, and he's going to live a lot longer than if I hand him a bucket of fish. So, what do you think?
I think that's a good reason. Yeah.
What?
Well, for me, it started off like, I just felt like, I have friends, but I don't have that many friends, So I just kind of like, I was just kind of reaching out. It's like my way of reaching out, like, hey, man, I want to be part of a community, and I don't really know anybody. I don't personally know anybody that does this around me. If there's any Wacoan resellers in the chat, like put a little sticker down there or something. But I don't know anybody that does what I'm doing. So for me, it's kind of like I just want to be around people or be able to talk to or vent to people that are going through the same things that I am, and
Right.
share my story along the way too. So, and I like to help people out too. So it may help somebody out, you know?
That's cool. And the community is very helpful. I don't want to say everybody because I don't like to group people in, but there's a high percentage of people in this community that are willing to help you. I do know a handful of people in Texas. I'll try and rack my brain. I'd have to look and see where they're actually located. But I know there are some people, and I think that's a common reason that people do that because you go to talk to your significant other, your mom, your dad, and they're like, I don't want to hear about what you're doing on eBay or Poshmark or why you got to return. So I think it's a common theme of why people reach out. So that's
like, I'm tired of hearing what you sold. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna, I'll put it on the internet. Maybe somebody wants to see what I sold, you know?
Yeah. Well, I definitely appreciate everybody's time in the chat, and Lorena, I appreciate you taking some time out of your evening. Everybody, make sure you go over and subscribe. You said you don't have a lot of friends. Hopefully, you picked up some friends today. I hate to keep saying it, but I think you got a good story to tell. I think you got a good presence on the camera, and you seem confident. Just keep doing what you're doing.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you all for coming and showing up, you guys.
All right, guys. Everybody have a great evening. I know that, let me think, it's 8 o'clock my time. I think it probably just started a few minutes ago. Rev Reseller, I think, was going to do a live stream. He's a great resource, a lot of fun. There's a couple other ones. Is John, I think John Nevermore Antiques and the Thrifting Goomba and El Cubanazo are doing a show tonight, I think at 9. And when I'm saying these times, it's Central Time. And I think Jason Static has got one later on this evening as well. So y'all be sure to check those out. But I appreciate everybody spending some time with us, and I hope you have a great evening. Peace out. Deuces.